Well, when I say faith, trust and surrender, they all mean the same thing. They're just three different words that point to the same thing, which is faith, trust and surrender. which is saying yes to that which you cannot know or understand with the mind, and that you cannot have or possess. Do you see? So, if you don't like the word faith, fine, throw it out. But I use the word trust and surrender more than faith. But it's really all the same, because what you're reacting to is blind faith, which is based on belief. You got to believe in Jesus, or you're a sinner, right? So it's a form of mind control. But true faith is the knowledge of the heart, let's say, as opposed to the knowledge of the mind. So, as I was saying to you in the car yesterday, this is all based on inquiry. Right? Nobody here is being told to believe anything. Right? Everything we're doing here is based on inquiry, investigation, wanting to know. It's not about believing anything. I don't want anyone to believe what I say. I don't believe anything I say. I don't believe anything anyone else says. Without unquestioningly, and then through a process of inquiry, of your own inquiry or a collective inquiry, one might come to certain truths, whether it's absolute truth or relative truth, and one might say, I believe this. But then the belief is not based on presumption or what one's been told. Do you see? Yeah. But even then, you see, one is always open to, maybe one will find out that one's belief, especially in terms of relative reality, which is very complex, maybe it's not true, or maybe there's a bigger picture, you see. So part of the spiritual disposition it's best described in the phrase of not knowing, I don't know, and I want to know. I don't know and I want to know. You see, that's the opposite of pride, which is I already know. Do you see? So I don't know and I want to know. But in the wanting to know, that's not coming from a need of the ego to feel secure. It's just open curiosity. And if you inquire, as you already have been, if you just begin to question everything, I mean, your process of questioning everything has brought you here, right? And at some point along the way, your inquiry will bring you face to face with that reality that you really are, that you can never know. Because you already are that. You see? And that's when the element of faith, trust and surrender comes in. I mean, it comes in the whole process, because to give ourselves to any spiritual endeavour, there has to be some degree of trust. You're trusting this, you're trusting me, you're going with it, right? So trust is there. Faith is there. You have faith in the project, you want to be a part of it, right? But at a certain point, and especially when what happened yesterday happens, right? There's something your mind wasn't really there, right? You experienced beauty, peace, right? You see, that's revelation, you see. That's when you're being graced. Do you remember I was talking about grace earlier? It's a free gift. You're actually being given and shown what you're looking for all these years. You see? But if you only insist on identifying with the mind, you'll never find what you're looking for. You'll always be a seeker. You see? And then when the truth is revealed to you, as it was very directly yesterday, you'll doubt it. Because you can't bear it. You see, that ego can't bear to accept. Well, the ego can't accept it, you see. It's the obliteration of Arnaldo as a separate self. Do you see? So the mind will always doubt what that which is beyond it. The mind will always try to distort and destroy that which is sacred. It can be in a very gross form or a very, very subtle. Very subtle.
Yeah, I remember that I was having that experience and I was thinking, yeah, maybe that's it. That is pure presence of love. But immediately I start thinking, maybe not. Maybe it is something new in my mind. A new experience I'm just having with my mind. Yeah, when the mind came, it's the ego.
Yeah, but the mind didn't come. You doubted. You see, so you were. This is where you were, open hand, right? And then, you see, doubt. You see, it's the separate I wants to survive. So for more solid types, I think you're a little more solid than I thought. It usually takes the form of doubt. You know, and like, well, maybe that was very interesting, but maybe it was just my brain cells firing off. And, you know, and it can just take 2 seconds, and your mind can destroy the whole thing.
Yeah.
This happens to people all the time. You have to realize all human beings are having spiritual awakenings in different ways, in different moments. And they're just being destroyed instantaneously. It's doubt and fear, you see. So doubt is the mental expression of fear. So the emotional mood is fear, and then there's doubt. In some moments, the fear is, you know, it's just very. In some moments, it's more the mental, seemingly very rational. You see, it will seem so reasonable and rational. Be like, no, I'm really questioning this. The ego, you see, is very sneaky. It masquerades as the spiritual seeking. No, well, actually, I think maybe he's not right about it. You see what I mean? The ego, if you want to find a way to doubt it or destroy it, you'll find a way. Everybody will. So we all have to watch out for that. You have to presume doubt will arise, fear and doubt will arise. Fear, doubt or pride. So for pride, it's more the vitals. No! You know, it's more like that. I will not. It's more of a I already know. So, but if you have the courage to actually because you said in the car, I wish I'd taped it. He said he experienced a greater beauty than he'd ever experienced and peace, right? So you're 54 years old and you experienced a greater beauty and peace and however else you would describe it than you ever have. And look how, and isn't this what everybody wants? Isn't everybody wanting to discover peace, beauty, love, freedom, right? And see how quickly your mind will destroy it. I mean, get this, guys. You have to let it in. This is for all of us, you see. When we're actually graced with enlightenment, liberation, love, bliss, freedom, we can't bear it. The ego can't bear it. And then we find out, how serious are we really? How happy do we really want to be? How free do we really want to be? Are we just playing a game with this? Or do we actually even believe that it's possible to become a finder instead of a seeker? Most spiritual seekers never get to that point. They want to remain spiritual seekers. Do you see? Because acknowledging that one has found is too threatening. It's too threatening. Why? Because then you have to take responsibility for what you have found. And the ego doesn't want anything to do with that. That's the beginning of the death of the ego. You see? Then it's on your shoulders. That's also the beginning of the end of seeking. So most spiritual seekers, don't want to. It's too real. You see, the implications are too great.